Live from Pennsylvania. Well, live from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and Saturday night. Let me talk to you. Yeah. How you doing? This is Jeff, the Disc Group, the JTT. As you can tell, got my WWE gear. And apparently I'm seeing Saturday night main event. I remember the first time I came on like about 30 years ago. That's a long time. Hold on. Deadpool says hi. Pinky's up. That's my boy, JJ Lunn. Pinky's up. Yeah, Deadpool's doing pinkies up for you. Well, I'm doing it for him. Having this. Yeah. Bang energy drink. 300 milligrams of caffeine. So I'm going to be very careful because I got to go to sleep later on tonight. Speaking of Saturday Night Main Event, I'm going to talk about the results that happened. But before I say a word, if you haven't seen it, skip. I say pause this thing, skip over or whatever, because I have some major spoilers here and the results of Saturday Night Main Event. So I give folks like a few seconds for I started spilling the tea about what happened in the end result of Saturday Night Main Event. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. It involves like, see what we got here. If I say a word. Blah, blah, blah. See. Keep it up, my fiance. Now also go to Facebook, see if I'm live yet. Apparently, one of my friends from high school, my sister, saw me put a post on Facebook about me having like leftover pizza, dip, bubbly, and watching Saturday Night Main Event. But oh yeah. Yep, there we go. Delay talking, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's start with Saturday Night Main Event. It starts off well. Jesse Ventura was there for the first Saturday Night Main Event, and on the record, he's what the first announcer went to the wrestling ring, competed after the wrestling match, went back to his broadcast assignment, which is pretty cool. The only other person I think who's done that so far. Well, I don't think he's the only one who did that. I know Pat McAfee did it recently. I try to think who else. Was it Jerry King Lawler? Folks, I don't think anybody who's a real wrestling fan, this is for the guys. Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk. That is for JJ, Larry, Jason, Big Bubba Brewer. If you guys know any other guys other than Jesse Ventura and Pat McAfee who competed in a wrestling match and went back to that broadcast table, let me know. Also, my best friend from New York, Russ Nani, if you hear me, if you know anybody else other than Pat McAfee and Jesse Ventura who actually competed in a wrestling match, and went back to the broadcast assignment on the same day, let me know. Well, not the same day. I think within same like hour or so. I don't know how they do it, but that's impressive. But the fact that they brought Jesse the Body of more Jesse the Mind Ventura there, I think it's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. I met Jesse Ventura. He's a very cool guy. And despite the fact he's a lot older, he's still sharp, though. He's still sharp, and I admire that for him. Okay, the match. Okay, I give you warning. Here comes the results of Saturday Night Main Event. Sami Zayn versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Now, ever since the great betrayal of the wise man who betrayed Roman Reigns, who betrayed CM Punk, who decided to take allegiance with Seth freaking Rollins. Just you thought things get any more bizarre, he took an alliance with Braun Breaker. Now, Seth Rollins is a dangerous guy. You throw in Braun Breaker, the explosive ball of muscle of energy, yeah, it's got a little more danger. Basically, the Dangerous Alliance. I'm not sure you guys remember when Paul Heyman had his own faction called the Dangerous Alliance. Yeah. Let's say it's a very more updated version of the Dangerous Alliance. You got Seth Rollins. You got Braun Breaker. Now, you have CM Punk and Sami Zayn. I know that CM Punk got a bone to pick with Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman swears up and down he's CM Punk's oldest friends and all that stuff, only to betray him. Always betray him in such a horrific way. Sami Zayn, like the good man who tried to, try to do the right thing. He picked CM Punk, and he knew CM Punk wanted peace of Paul Heyman really, really bad. Now the bad went back forth, back forth. It was a fantastic match though, till a third person showed up and really, really tipped the scales. And that third person was Bronson Reed, the 300 plus dude from Australia. This dude is nothing to play. A guy who's that big, move in such a way is terrifying. CM Punk was on the outside of the barrier. Bronson Reed pretty much bulldozed his way through Punk through the barrier. That's bad enough. Braun Breaker speared Sami Zayn when he was distracted with seeing his friend CM Punk getting taken down. Make matters worse, just as CM Punk tried to get a piece of Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman's new update, Dangerous Alliance, that beat the brakes off of CM Punk. With the assist of Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed performed the tsunami on CM Punk. This guy got flattened so bad you need a spatula to scrape him up. So now you got Seth freaking Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. For a second, thought they had a confrontation between like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Then Seth Rollins came, hugged them. That confirmed their numbers just got bigger and a lot more dangerous. So, like I said, when I say this is Paul Heyman's new dangerous alliance, I'm not capping, not lying. So watching them. You think that these guys run roughshod already on Raw? Look out. It's better to get more dangerous. That's just the first match. That was a bomb burner right there. Then you got Bronson Reed. Not Bronson Reed. Then you got the next would be for the Women's United States title. You got Chelsea Green versus Zelina Vega. Now, Chelsea Green surprised everybody when she won she was the first inaugural Women's United States champion. She went this whole presidential shtick. She got her her service. Her service? What? Never mind. She got her female bodyguards, which is Piper Piven. Piper Piven. I think it's Piper Piven. I think that's that Piven. Yeah. Yeah, Piper Piven and Amber Fire versus Zelina Vega. And like I said, despite the size disadvantage, Zelina Vega fought like crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was back forth, but despite the chicanery of Chelsea Green's bodyguards, meaning like Piper Piven and Amber Fire, Zelina Vega fought and retained her United States Women's title. For Zelina Vega, cool. Pick this up. Next is John Cena versus R-Truth. Now, R-Truth, here's the irony though. R-Truth, last time I checked in the last pay-per-view, R-Truth interfered in the match between John Cena and Randy Orton. And here's the messed up part. How did John Cena repay R-Truth for helping retain the title? He got dumped on a table. Yeah, that's how you think a person. R-Truth's confused, like, what's going on with John Cena? He said, like, all his money, all his power. He's not the same John Cena. He figured he got beat the hustle, loyalty, respect back into John Cena. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, that John Cena, you're not going to see him. You're not going to see him again. And funny thing is, like, R-Truth in R-Truth fashion is like this, though. You guys start seeing his, like, the anti-John Cena. Then you got R-Truth who come like the more positive John Cena. And the match, at first, John Cena was beating the brakes off until like R-Truth, somebody pulled some offensive moves. In fact, he performing some of the same moves John Cena always doing it, and people giving R-Truth some good pop, and John Cena was not happy about it. He even gave John Cena the classic 5-knuckle shuffle, even in the AA. John was not happy about that. He was not happy. Now, at one point, John got mad. He took the belt, and he's about to hit R-Truth. R-Truth and look at him like, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. And here's the thing, though. Old classic John Cena fashion. John faked the handshake, kicked him low. I mean, really low, to a point where every man was like grabbing their ass, going, "Ouch!" And next thing you know, got the AA, and John Cena retains. Unfortunately enough. And to make matters worse, though, even though John Cena won, took the belt and cracked it on top of R-Truth's head. Typical John Cena. Typical. Now, in between, before the preparation of his defense, it'd be main event Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. And Jey Uso, remember how he eliminated John? And I forgot what match it was, but he did eliminate John. And John said it'd be a crying shame that John Cena would go retire and leave the belt, and how Logan Paul going to walk away with the belt, even though Logan Paul is just no more than a glorified YouTuber. It'd be a shame. And though he tried to say like, but John did say he's going to ruin the wrestlers, the wrestling fans, and wrestling in general. In one of the ways, I think he tried him, he's going to ruin Jey Uso's chances of retaining his belt. That's a threat. Okay, the next match is a brutal one. The one that Jesse Ventura said there haven't been a steel cage match. In fact, there haven't been a steel cage match at NBC, period. It's like the first one he's seen, at least in Saturday Night main events. Go ahead, steel cage matches before. That's not a Saturday Night main event. It was probably a first. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. These two just hate each other. They want to move heaven and earth and fight their way, literally, I mean, seriously, they could literally through hell to destroy one another. And they tried everything. They cost each other's opportunities to win championships. They try to take each other out more than one occasion. Last time, it was for the fatal four-way match, I think. And Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest took each other out. It was brutal. It was nasty. And when even the match didn't got started yet, and Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest were beating the brakes off each other for the steel cage. It wasn't in the cage yet. They were beating the brakes off each other. Long story short, they're pulling every trick in the book. It was back, forth, back, forth. It was crazy. But in the end, somehow, Damian Priest got the drop on Drew McIntyre. I mean, he just laid out McIntyre out cold. And this is where things got dark. He put Drew McIntyre's head on a steel chair. He grabbed another chair. And the same way he took out Edge, the same way he took out Drew McIntyre, he performed a chair shot. You know, it's like he just cracked, like Drew McIntyre's head's here, a chair went, yeah. You guys see to believe it, and it's uncomfortable to watch. He rang Drew McIntyre's bell hard. The guy had a hard time walking it after the match. Now, Ventura's kind of mad because he expected Damian Priest to go over the top of the cage. He just walked out. I said, if you can walk out, cool. But he just like, Damian Priest just had to find a word on Drew McIntyre. Plain and simple. It was brutal, but wow. Then you had the main event. You got Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Championship. I think this is Jey Uso's second title defense, and Jey Uso was on fire. I mean, he was yeeting it up like crazy. He was like yeet, yeet, yeet. He was yeeting up like crazy, and the crowd was eating up. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's great that I remember him and his brother got started 15 years ago. I never imagined this guy would become world champion, but yet here we are. Him and his brother started off. Him and his brother set the tag team world on fire. I mean, they were like the elite best in WWE in terms of tag team. I mean, him and his brother, they owned the tag division like crazy. They were multiple world champions. And in fact, he's a world champion. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. And Logan Paul, here's the thing. As much as people don't like Logan Paul, you got to give that devil his due. The guy is an incredible, phenomenal wrestling, like machine. The guy could wrestle. The moves he does, it's incredible. Plain and simple. And like I said, this battle went back, forth, and all that. But here's the problem, though. John Cena, at the last moment, tried to interfere. At one point, Jay got Logan Paul down. The ref on the count 1-2. John Cena pulled the ref off at the last second. He jumped in, beat the brakes off of Jey Uso. And it looks like Jay's going to lose the title. Until somebody hit that music. Cody Rhodes came back. When I heard that music, I mean, like, I think the song is Freedom, not Freedom, Kingdom. I forgot the name of the group, but it's Kingdom. It was Cody Rhodes music. The one thing they realized, it belonged to his brother, Dustin Rhodes, or Goldust. It belonged to him first. Then Cody took it, and that song became a big deal. That song became legendary. I mean, legendary. Anyway, Cody Rhodes came, beat the brakes off of John. And next thing you know, despite what Logan Paul tried to do, Jey Uso retained the title. Near the end of the Saturday Night Main Event, I think in Money in the Bank, it's going to be John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and the returning Cody Rhodes. All right, that's how Saturday Night Main Event ended. I'm not gonna lie, that put a smile on my face. I was glad to see Cody Rhodes back and all that. I think he's going. Like I said, I feel bad that he lost the title, but the fact that he held the title, had a decent title run, that man has nothing to be ashamed of. He could have his head. He could leave his head held up high. He done it. He done it. No question about it. He done it. And I don't doubt he's going to get it again. I won't be surprised at some point before the year is over, he's going to get that belt back. I wouldn't be surprised if it get to a point before John Cena tried to sneak off to the sunset with the belt, but somehow Cody was going to snatch the belt from John Cena just before he tried to sneak into the sunset, saying like, I'm retired, I'm the best. Nope. Okay, now we finished with WWE Wrestling for a minute. Now, go back. Whoops, didn't mean to flash my nipple right there. Oh boy, hope God was gonna come after for this one here. Say like, Jeff, how could you? I was like, hey, I didn't mean to. Oh, and that, folks, how you doing? This weather has been nuts. Let's not talk to you guys. I was like, yeah, I just look at my YouTube on Facebook, and looks as I just flashed like my tattoo and all that. I'm going like, yeah, that was awkward. But how you doing? The weather right now is weird. It's like a few weeks ago it felt summery. It's getting warm. It's hot. And I was like, I had to put the AC on. Now this week I had to put the heater on. Like, what's going on? It's in the 50s. In fact, right now, look at the temperature on my laptop, 46 degrees. What? Folks, it feels like autumn. Did I fall asleep too long? Did I sleep past summer and woke up in the middle of autumn? What? Someone joked like, well, you must see some snow. I said, don't be funny. Don't be jinxing us like that. That'd be our luck. This cold spell will last way until September. And all of a sudden, here comes the snow. So whoever says, we got global warming, we got no global anything. We got no global warming. 46 degrees, that doesn't seem like global warming. Maybe global cooling, but not global warming. Once again, they try to lie and deceive us. But how you doing? Like I said, at some point, I try to recover from really chilly and stuff. I wasn't feeling too good last week and all that. I was not deathly ill, thank goodness. But I took precautions, be safe and all that. Drank plenty of orange juice, vitamin C. I got cold medicines just in case, has to be the safe side. I mean, that was just ridiculous. This weather's just wow, so unpredictable. So unpredictable. One thing I noticed about the Diddy case. For one thing, though, the funny thing, he wasn't that rattled with Casimir Choy. He's probably annoyed because he thought like he's paid a settlement about he beating the brakes off her. Cause the video went viral with him in his towel, grabbing Cassie, beating the brakes on her, beating the brakes off her. There's pictures of her how of the injuries she suffered from Diddy. One was a gash on her eyebrow. Ooh, that's nasty. Bruises. I was like, dude, this is going on for a decade. At one point, I think her husband had to walk out. I think during the testimony because he was not a fan of it. I can't blame him because that's been too much. In fact, that has been a story that he said threatening to Diddy though. Like I said before, one of my uploads. This guy is a physical trainer. I think he's a bull rider. So like, number one, the guy, if he's a physical trainer, I mean, he's in great shape himself. And to be a bull rider, you gotta be very tough. So basically, it comes to one-on-one. Sorry, Diddy, this guy is taking you down and not in a good way. But one of the things I heard about, but I think Kid Cudi testified against him about how his car got bombed or he got destroyed by Diddy, and that because at some point when Diddy and Cassie was on his on off again relationship, she went with Kid Cudi, and Diddy didn't like that. And I think at some point Michael B. Jordan went with either she went out with Cassie or at least was seen with her, and Diddy was not happy about it. And Diddy seems to lose a little control over that. Here's one thing I noticed about Diddy: the guy is when it comes to being a control freak. Diddy like to fancy himself as God. I don't mean something like that, but I'm sorry. The guy think he's God. He controls everybody's movement and all that. And another thing too, the freak off tapes. I was happy to obtain because they let people look at least at the stills. I'm going like, oh boy, it's gonna get dark. One of the people who used to be in the show called In the Band, and Diddy was part of it. He's one of the top people there, and he's accused of abuse among other things. And like I mentioned to him loudly about. They got Albie Shaw who may be involved as well. My thing is this though. This may be one of the few signs that Diddy is going to start to crack. If it starts to crack, don't be surprised at one point that he might be dropping names. I'm not saying he will. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he will. But if he does, don't be too surprised. But what do you think, folks? You think, Diddy, and if the pressure gets high enough for Diddy, you think he might be snitching? Let me know in the comments down below. In fact, but anybody who wants to speak up about this, let me know. When I'm checking over here on Facebook, so far, mostly quiet out there. But I'm out here, I'm listening, so talk to me. Let me check on something right here while I've got your folks' attention. I see some things that be going like, what the heck is going on here? Oh, yeah. I was hoping to find that. Let me see. One thing I want to rant about, because I did say I'm going to rant about some things. This is one of them. Because I'm going like, is this person serious? Is this person for real? And I'm going like shaking my head. I'm going to try to break this down as much as I can because I'm going like this person cannot be serious. Oh yeah, here we go. Get ready.
Go on Hinge and entertain conversations with men just for research purposes. One common theme that I see in these like tech guy circles is they think that they're different. They're like, oh, I'm not like the macho guy. I just want to be appreciated and loved for who I am.
Okay, what's wrong with that? Okay, what is so horrifically wrong for being appreciated and loved for who he is? Not for how much he makes, not for how tall he is, not that he's built like he lives in a gym. Can somebody out there explain it to me why it's a horrible thing? And the moment that he's not macho. Now, before people start getting all crazy about that, let's do a little bit of research here. Let me see if we can figure some things out here. So let's define what is macho. So that way we can probably silence this ridiculousness. I'm not talking like Macho Man Randy Savage. No, no, no. This what says here the co-pilot answer. The term macho is defined as characterized by machismo, often characterized by a strong, aggressive virility. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, I'm the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Macho Man's will go, oh no, forever, take it. I know that's the worst Macho Man ever. I have friends. I know Russ is gonna be going like, bro, don't ever do it again. I'm not. I know a guy who does. There's a guy who does a perfect Macho Man. He's been like going like, brother, don't be doing it again, please don't. If you respect me, don't. But that's something like that. I put the like Macho Man Randy Savage you don't want to talk about. That's one. Behavioral traits. It describes behavior forcefully showing no emotion in a way that traditionally thought to be typical of a man. Okay, then you got etymology. The word originates from the Spanish word meaning male or man. Duh. Also evolved to encompass cultural and social aspects associated with masculinity. Overall, macho embodies traits associated with being traditionally masculine and virility. Let me see if I can find. Hold on. Okay, Webster's Dictionary, macho meaning. Okay, macho. One who exhibits machismo. Machismo. Okay, select them all. Copy over here. So in other words, though, the guy is basically he's what these tech guys are traditional males. That's it. And before going any further, let me go back here. Because you make assign these tech guys ain't much of anything. In fact, let me go so far as ask this question. How much do IT men make? Not it. Not it. That is so not it. I apologize for that. Woo! I must. Did you gotta be careful with these IT things with AIs. If you ask the wrong question, it will give the worst answer. Let's try this again. How much money do the IT men make on average? Aha! Here we go. Here we go. Okay, this what says here. The average. Oh wow. Okay. The average salary of information technology professionals in the United States is $240,000. The salary range for IT positions typically from 51,000 to 429,000. So basically, like the lower, I'm actually at the very beginning, like the guys who are studying for the first time, who just came off the just guys degree certificate, start off making like say $50,000, and they can rise up to about almost $250,000. That's not bad. So it's not like the guys working like dirt poor. That's like insane. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful. My phone pops up to go a bit. In fact, let me do this instead. There we go. We go to right here. IT salary overview. How much can you make? Wow. Okay. Product. Okay. Product support specialist. $60,000. That's not bad and all that. That's slightly better than normal. The base, I think the average normal salary of the average person in the United States is about like $40,000, $50,000. In fact, the person starts making like about $60,000. That's not bad. But here's where it goes here. You got starts up there. Then you got one with. Let me try to look at this correctly though. Security architect, $143,000. That's a lot of money. Number one, site reliability engineer, $129,000. Long story short, these tech guys are not exactly, working for peanuts. They're not working for pennies. They make a lot of money. And these men study hard and work hard to be good at their craft to earn that money. But this person seems to be like poking fun at the IT guys. I'm going like, wow. My friend Greg Harley, he's reacting to the post he had, like like 4 turtles and a rat, and saying, "We don't know what it is. Unfriend me. I know what it is. I know what it is since way back. I caught that joke." But long story short, you're not gonna tell me that these tech guys don't make money. But let's keep listening to this person if I can, because this person really annoyed me. One more thing: if you're a God-fearing Christian, this woman read tarot cards. So you run across a woman like that who reads tarot cards, and you're a God-fearing Christian, avoid her. I don't care how she look, what she promised you, and all that stuff. Avoid her.
And for some reason, they're like really weird and protective about their money.
Wow, we're protected about their money. Can I tell you something? Can you blame them? You're gonna tell me that these men who spent years studying so hard to get that position, to get paid good money, like say you got a man who started up, let's say, straight out of high school, who studied for years in their course, like say in cybersecurity. Okay, I'm gonna mention one of the fields called cybersecurity. And the intention to make 6 figures is right there. For the record, 6 figures is over $100,000. That's just 6 figures right there. Not many men can do that. If you can earn 6 figures, you're doing pretty good. As long as you don't, like, say, live in like places like California and all that stuff, you can make good money. The only way you could be okay in California, you make, like, say, over $250,000. You don't try to live a life of Jay-Z or any other rich person. But other than that, though, like, you can make it, but otherwise, 6 figures, you're doing pretty well. But here's the thing: you have a right to protect up your money, because unfortunately, not all women, but you got women, especially women like her, who figure to spend money all willy nilly, like it's no big deal. You have a right to be protective of your money. You got better things to do with your money. Save, invest, invest in your future, invest in your possibly your up and coming business. You probably save money for a nice vacation, maybe for a car. But this would make it sound like you had no business, like you had a right to be protective of your money. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If only women like her is very protective of their body count. I'm dying to know like what her body count is, but there's a 99% chance she'll fight tooth and nail to keep that secret. But that's never here and there. Let's go on.
Inevitably, I always get the question if I think that men should pay on dates. As a generalization, yeah, I think that men should pay. Um,
Okay, here's the thing. The only way a man should pay for a date is like say is for guess what? I know women don't want to hear it. A coffee date. Yes, a coffee date. You can hear it later on. She's like, "Well, men should pay $100 for a date because he had no personality." And I'm gonna rebut that. But my point is this though: the only way the man should pay is for a coffee date. Why a coffee date? That way the man can get to know her, and also he also can find out whether she's worth a second date and worth spending more money on. She makes it like I say, I'm gonna let you listen to what she says here, because like she got me pretty worked up by listening to what she said, going like, you can't be serious, but take a listen.
why? Because women are doing all of the emotional labor.
Emotional labor. Will you please elaborate on emotional labor? Why? You feel like she make it sound like that the women are doing these men a favor for showing up. Can I tell you something, ladies? If you're not that interested in these men, just say so. You're not my type. You're not tall enough. You don't look diesel enough. You don't look like you came out of the gym. You look too nerdy. You look too short. You don't look the type. You're not my type. Just say so. Don't make it sound like you put yourself out for these men. Please. But it gets worse. Trust me, it gets worse.
And in a society that commodifies status and having a woman who is objectified and commodified going out on a date with a beautiful woman ups this guy's status.
This woman thinks she's God's gift to men. Can I tell you something? Like I said, she's an attractive woman, but she's not all that. Pretty, yes, all that. No, she's a literal dime a dozen. I promise you, there are a lot more women who are prettier than her. She thinks she's a 10. No, she's not. She's lucky she's an adjustable 6. There are women who will probably shame her face and body. And guess what? Personality. All I see is looks and attitude. That don't sound like she's going to bring peace. And the way she's talking down on men, I hear no respect. And good luck getting love from her. Good luck. So far as I can tell you, though, she shows no respect, no love, no peace. That disqualifies her as wife material. Or everybody said that disqualifies her as wife material. But let's go on.
Which ultimately makes him seem more successful. And it
Okay, stop. He does not need her or women like her to be successful. The fact that man studies hard and works hard, that what makes him successful. The fact that man can, like, say, buy any car he wants, that makes him successful. He owns his house. He owns his house. That what makes him successful. And people are like, "Whoa, unless you get a woman, you're not successful." That's not the end all to be all, folks. Now, finding the woman who's a perfect fit for him, that's the real tough task. Yes. But doesn't, let's say, if we say, the guy said, like, I can live my life single, that's it. Will I make him a failure? No. Some people, these days, they say, like, no, he's playing it wise. Because unfortunately, unless you find a woman who's very traditional, the woman he picks, like a woman like her will break him. There's a running joke that goes like this. Someone said, who's stronger, men or women? And the man, like I said, a woman, that's a question that this wife asked her husband. Who's the stronger sex, men or women? The husband said, well, woman. The woman and his wife kind of smiled. It's like, okay, how's that? Well, in a funeral, it takes 6 men to carry the man's body. Okay, but it takes one woman to put him in that grave. Yeah, exactly. It takes one cruel female to destroy the life of one man who sacrificed his heart, spirit, and soul for her. Women like that are dangerous. Also dangerous. Some say that, if I dare may say so, the way she talks, she's not a bit of a feminist, she's a hardcore feminist. If I dare say so, she's a feminazi with a strong hint of the Jezebel spirit. But let's go on.
It gives him more social benefits than it does for us to be seen with him.
Oh, I've got promises this. Like, say a woman like that comes across this guy, treats him like garbage, disrespects him. This is his solution, though. Because they think like these guys can't find, she gonna think like, oh, you can't do no better than me. You never find a woman just like me. Number one, he's counting on that. He will not find a woman like her. Because when all fails, all you gotta do is get a passport, go to another country. Women will go to war to find men like that who will love, honor, and cherish them. This is why women like that in the year 2040 is going to be single and childless. Right now, they're running their mouths, talking smack because they got a healthy supply of simps, beta males, and soy boys dropping DMs and dropping in the DMs like crazy for now. But how long before these DMs will start to disintegrate? How long before that start to disappear? There's a video of a woman who feels a little insulted because she walked by a construction site and none of the construction workers said peep. They didn't say a word. Not one word, not one cat call. She got offended. She's like, how come nobody cat call? It's like, and I'm probably laughing when she asked that question. Like, are you serious? You've been screaming at us for decades to keep a mouth shut. You've been screaming at us for decades. Don't look at us. Don't even think about approaching us. And you know what's happening? Men are listening. And men are speaking way more with the silence than anything else. And that's driving some of these women crazy. Let's go on.
If anything, it's actually to the detriment of the value of our image as a
Value. Here's a question. If you women are traditional, have a low body count, and respectful, I would believe that. Here's the thing. There's a lot of good, respectful, traditional women out there. There are women who don't act like they are playboy, playmate wannabes. There are women who dress modestly, but yet dress beautifully. Who's like very modest, conservative, mild-mannered, with a low body count. That's your unicorn. Gentlemen, and I mean, I talk about a good God-fearing man. If you can find a woman like that, yeah, you're blessed. You find a woman like that, you know, praise God every chance you get. But find a woman like that, because they're going to be hard to find. And the reason why I say that, because you can find a good traditional woman, but God bless she has that one modern woman who's the opposite of her, yeah. A lot of men walk the other direction because despite the fact that it's a good traditional woman, she has that super worldly modern friend who's the opposite of her, walk the other direction because you don't know what that modern woman is saying to that traditional woman's ear. You don't know. But let's go on.
woman. To be a woman in a society that commodifies women means that your value comes from how much you're wanted.
Basically, validation, attention, basically how much of a social media presence you have. If you have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even X, you'd be surprised. Like, I'll put this way though, there are people think like you can find all these girls at TikTok, Instagram. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because majority of women, especially on TikTok and Instagram, they're not gonna want to get with you. They want you to subscribe to their sites. Yeah, pay a subscription price, much less for the Happy Meal for their sites. Yeah. Don't be fooled, guys. Do not be fooled. Don't. As these women like to be like show like their bodies and all that. I'm not saying they're naked, but unfortunately, there's some that do that and all that. I'll probably do a story about a woman who's like did OnlyFans and literally credit. I gotta do that one in about a few weeks. Cause I'm going shake my head going like, you know, yeah, you made the money, yes, you helped your family, but you paid a horrible price. But that's for another time. That's gonna be like in 2 weeks. But as this one here, this one I call God's gift to women, which I call it saying it sarcastically. Keep on listening and trying to get too triggered by it.
The more conventionally attractive you are, then the more valuable you are. Therefore,
Can I tell you something? There are women who are drop dead gorgeous. Yeah, I see women who are drop dead gorgeous, but their body counts are through the roof. I see a lot of women who are drop dead gorgeous who can say, yeah, she could be a model, but their body count's through the roof. I'm sorry. And I know for a fact some top tier guys ran through them quicker than the track meet in the Olympics. And these same women who are drop dead gorgeous, or fake they drop dead gorgeous, will fight you tooth and nail to keep their body count secret. These women who feel so liberated, so proud of their body count, why keep it a secret? Too bad we don't live in a society where like your body count registers on your forehead and all that. Can you imagine that if your body count is registered on your forehead? Oh my goodness, it would freak out a lot of people. But let's go on.
Or what the fuck is he bringing to the table?
Let me see. Discipline, stability. Especially if he loves you, he will provide, protect, give you a future. Legacy, meaning family. What's so horrible about that? You make it say he brings nothing. What do you bring to the table? Let me get real for a second here. Are you going to add to the man's peace, or are you going to throw chaos in there? Are you going to respect the man, or are you going to throw some disrespect his way? Are you going to love this man, or are you going to make this man feel unloved? Instead of giving to the man to add on to his value, or you're going to simply go take and take and take. How dare you say that, act like, that he brings stuff to the table. He probably brings way more than you think. He's one bringing stuff to the table. You wasn't show up. The man's got to bring everything to the table. He's going to show up. How dare you? Yeah, I went there.
Why would any woman take time out of our lives to sit across the table from this schmuck? So back to the tech guy part of
the delusion of this one here is strong. I mean, the delusion in this one here is overwhelming, unbelievable. I mean, I'm trying very hard not to get upset or worked up, but the delusion at this point is just ridiculous. But the moment we try to call him out on the delusion, we're in the wrong. No, we're in the right here. But wow.
They think that they're different because they're not masculine.
Okay, I can stop right there. Not masculine. Do you understand the concept of the word masculine? Do you understand that before you run your mouth saying she make it sound like she don't know what masculine is? I don't think she has a clue what masculine is. I don't think she does. She thinks she does, but she don't. So you know what? Let's change that. Let's find out what's the real meaning of masculine, so that way she can't say, well, I know masculine. Ma'am, you don't have a clue about masculinity. Maybe what you try to project is masculine, but no, not it. So let's find out for direct what the real term of masculine is. Okay? Masculine, having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men or boys. He is outstandingly handsome and robust, very masculine. Okay. Denoting a gender of nouns and adjectives conventionally regarded as male. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, then you got masculinity, also called in Wikipedia, also called manhood or manliness, as a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles generally associated with men and boys. Masculinity can be theoretically understood as socially constructed. You're right. There is also evidence that some behaviors considered masculine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. But let's stick to the definition according to Merriam Dictionary. Okay. Number one, consider a characteristic of men. Okay, it's like number one says Academy stands a direct challenge to bonus masculine dominance they first encountered in the film. For example, when Caddy shoves his hand into Bonus' car and turns off the ignition. Okay. Marked by or having qualification features, etc., traditionally associated with men. This one man's watch. And though it's built for rugged masculine pursuits, the simple face and elegant strap lends to a suit-worthy elegance too. The masculine equivalent of haute couture is suits, feature jacket with soft shoulders, large sleeves, neat fronts, small matched lapels. Okay, so far, from what I'm hearing, she don't know what the heck she's talking about. She make it sound the guy is gay. Come on.
They live outside of the rules. You still need to bring something to the table. So it's so funny when they're like, women just want one thing, they're just gold diggers. What's
The good news for you, for good news for the women out there, not every female is a gold digger. That I will say, not every female is a gold digger. But the way she goes on, you're giving gold digger vibes. Not every female is a gold digger, and I'll be the first to say it, but this was giving gold digger vibes. Because you gotta keep hearing what she says and you see why I said that.
the big deal of spending $100 on a dinner?
$100 for a dinner. Why should a man who meets you for the first time spend $100? Why? Maybe on a second, third date, yes. First date, first time meeting you, no. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these guys can't afford it. Most of these tech guys can't afford it, but my question is why? I did a video once about a man who spent like about a lot of money on the first date with this woman, bought her gifts and all that stuff. He said he wanted like to take her home, or at least want this woman to be his girl. She kind of flip flopped, and then he said, no, we better be friends. The guy said, okay, if we go 50-50 with the bill. She said no and left. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way.
Well, you don't have any fucking hobbies or interests.
How do you know? How do you know that these men have no hobby or interest? How do you know? I mean, it could be something that you think is not a hobby. It is. For example, like reading is a hobby. Maybe he has his favorite books. Maybe regular books, maybe e-books, or about video games. Don't get me started on video games because women like her probably despises men who plays video games. Can I let you know a little secret? There are women who also love video games. In terms of books, there are women who also love to read books, maybe regular books or ebooks. Or maybe this guy's hot, like maybe watching TV shows, watching movies and all that stuff. There are women who love that stuff too. Maybe she don't understand their hobby, but there's other women who do. But in fact, she makes it sound like every single tech guy has no hobbies, have no personalities. Are you serious? I think you've been playing with those tarot cards too long. I think your brain just got dissolved. Seriously? Wow.
Like, what else are you spending your money on? Pickle.
Hopefully not on you or women like you. Pickleball? What is pickleball? Seriously? I hate when you got women like her thinking they know exactly what the man is doing. I know what he's doing. I know what he's spending his money on. You don't have a clue. You know as much as I do, and I don't have a clue at all. But the fact that this woman got the mitigated gall to say, like, I know what this money men is spending their money on, no. Then she go on Hinge to do research. No, she's not going on Hinge to do research. She going on Hinge to waste some man's time. Get out of here. She's the type who swipes like, say, about, I don't want him, I don't want him, I don't want maybe him. I don't want him, I don't want him, I want him. Please. But this is why men give up on dating. They will probably swipe like crazy for the women they want, but the women they want, well, I want them back. But guess what? That goes for women like her. That because you want a specific type of man doesn't mean they want you back. And trust me, it's going to become a more bitter reality as time goes on. Right now, you're running your mouth because you got a good number of simps, beta males, and soy boys flooding your DMs. But guess what? I promise you, come 2030, those numbers going to drop. 2040, those numbers going to drop even further because the red pill community are solely telling these men who've been played, who've been imprisoned in the friend zone supermax, it's like, you know what? Stop listening to women like her. Stop listening to these feminazis tell you, to relinquish your masculinity. No, because to these simps, soy boys, and beta males, you got three simple choices in life when it comes to the dating pool. Because we're here to let you know the dating pool has more than pee in it. The dating pool is so toxic, Chernobyl is safe. You're better off streaking in Chernobyl. It's way safer streaking in Chernobyl than waiting in the dating pool. It's that bad. Because you got females like that. You got feminazis like that you're going to run into. So here's your three choices. One, be about your purpose. Be about your family, friends, and God. Yes. Because let's face fact, because as long as you live in Western civilization, like the United States and UK, finding a traditional woman will be very hard. Very, very hard. It's not impossible. It's going to be very hard. It's a shame you got to work 10 times harder for your grandfather and great-grandfather to find a woman who's a fraction of what your grandmother or great-grandmother was at her prime. That is sad. That's option one. Option two. But as mentioned, you got, like I said, you got to work extra hard. Option two, you got to just be alone. I'm sorry, you got to be alone. It sucks, man. It sucks, but here's the thing. You have your peace. You have your solitude, but you have your peace. You have to worry about females like that stress you to a point you want to unlove yourself. That's option two. Option one, you gotta work extra hard to find a Christian woman. Can it be found? Yes, but you gotta work extra, extra, extra hard. Hold on a sec. That's my fiance. Hold on. But bottom line, like I said, the first choice, you gotta work 10 times harder to find a traditional woman and all that. Hoping a woman is something like your grandmother and great grandmother in terms of quality of the woman. It won't be easy, but just get ready. Two, live alone. I know it sucks, but you're better off because at least you have your peace. You better have your. I'd rather have you live alone in your own peace than have somebody who's going to destroy your peace. Believe me, you don't want that at all. Three, and a lot of these modern women hate it with a passion. Get your passport, go to another country. Go to another country where women are still traditional. They believe in tradition and family. As long as you're a good man, a good God-fearing man, you will find such a good woman in other countries. Maybe like some parts of Europe, some parts of Africa, maybe some parts of South America, Southeast Asia. You can find them there. Some parts of Japan, some parts of China. You can find them there. Philippines, yes. Thailand, yes. Maybe Mongolia, yes. Vietnam, yes. Malaysia, yes. And the funny part, you got these modern women talking trash to these women, but these women, they may be sweet and quiet, but they have no problem clapping back at these modern women. But let's keep on going.
Pickleball, that's it. Men rely on women for emotional intimacy, human connection.
Like I said, yes, we need intimacy, human connection, yes, but we're not gonna drop dead without it. There are men who live without women. Women sound like we cannot survive without women. You want to bet? You're the same type of creatures who said you pick a bear. Can I tell you something? I got an interesting question though. Who survives the scenario better while encountering a bear? A man or a woman? Now, a man knows like a bear, like, okay, like, okay, might be mating season, or he's hungry, or he's injured. A man's going to be smart enough to avoid the bear at all costs. He's like, okay, don't go in that territory, have some things to deter the bear. Just keep out of the bear's way, no problem. So unless the woman is an outdoorsman type, know what she's doing, yeah. She think the bear's going to ignore her. The black bear, don't know. Brown bear, I won't count on it. Polar bear, oh boy, unbelievable. But she makes it sound like men cannot live without women. You sure about that? I think it's the other way around. But let's go on.
Because of the frameworks of patriarchy.
And there it goes. That screams of her being a fem Nazi. Keyword fem Nazi.
They cannot rely on one another. They can't.
Want to bet? You want to bet? I'll give you a perfect scenario why men can rely on one another. I'll tell you why. Like, say, one man see another man hurting. He's hurting because, for example, they have a hard day at work, but he can't talk to his woman because she would take his feelings, vulnerabilities, and use it against him. The man, another person he talked to might be a friend that he could talk to and rely upon. Plain and simple. Hold on. My fiance getting worried here because my fiance that she thought the woman on this thing is a threat to no that hold on. Yeah. Okay. To my fiance Christine, this person to my right, she's not a threat to you. And if anything, she's not a threat to any of the males or any of the good traditional females. This woman here is pretty much trying to say that men who work in the IT department who work with computers are worthless, and that's a joke. Men who work with computers make a lot of money. They make the great husbands though, but her attitude is that these men should pay like $100 for a first meeting though. That's an embarrassment right there. But if you think about it though, the fact that she's probably from the United States or from the UK with a type of modern attitude, this is why a lot of men don't go on dates anymore. That's why a lot of men don't want to be bothered with women like her anymore. And you can't blame them. Plain and simple. What I can say though is that um, the fact that she makes fun of men, think like they have no hobbies. Men have hobbies. Like I said, they like to read, play video games, watch TV, and all that stuff. They work. They have total shops in their houses and apartments. They have hobbies. They have personalities. They have lives. not just work. They had lives when they go home. But the fact that these women keep on putting them down, that's a joke. Let's go on.
Can't get human connection and intimacy from each other, from other men.
So, in other words, though, you calling these men gay. There's this thing called a brotherhood because, like, it's to a point where a man can talk to another man about his feelings, though, because chances are the other man would know the same type of problems he has. Now, I'm not saying if you have a woman like you have a fiance, wife, or girlfriend you can talk to and feel comfortable with, share your fears, and all that, and she won't turn against you. If anything, she'll create this safe space where you can talk and all that stuff. That's great. If she turns against you, then you have a problem. Unbelievable.
Men. And so if you were to look at, say, like a hierarchy of needs, like, okay, well, your survival, even really just your success in your life, in your business, in your job, whatever it is reliant on a woman sacrificing.
Okay, let me explain what happened. Okay, see, I can do it like this. Okay, but plain and simple though, this woman is making fun of men who work with computers. She's accusing them of not having a personality, and she thinks these men should pay a lot of money on first dates, like $100. This woman has a very negative attitude towards men, and this is the reason why a lot of men, especially in the United States, are not dating as much as they used to. A lot of men are left the dating pool in general. This woman thinks that because this woman thinks she's pretty, thinks she's worth all that, but she's not. Her negative attitude is what causes men not to be bothered. Her negative attitude towards men is the reason why men don't talk to these women like they used to. More and more men are walk away from the dating scene. Hold on a sec, folks. See, can I do it? Yeah, try to do this at least. So let me say I go back here if I'm hearing this correctly. I'm like, what she said?
From each other, from other men. And so if you were to look at, say, like a hierarchy of needs, like, okay, well, your survival, even really just your success in your life, in your business, in your job, whatever it is reliant on a woman sacrificing her own emotional needs, her own emotional depth to carry your ass through a fucking conversation.
Wow. Wow. Um ah before I forget, folks, a big shout out to my fiance, my wifey from halfway around the world. I love her very much. And like I said, this female across the way is not a threat to you. I love you very much. Please know that. You're the only one for me. Please know that. uh, hold on a sec. For the record, folks, so that's my fiance. She's from the Philippines right now. She's in the Philippines right now. I'm gonna see her again this coming January. I'm gonna upload a ton of videos, a lot of vids, short vids, a lot of live streams and all that stuff for my travels, like from Pittsburgh all the way to the Philippines. Hopefully, it'll be a better one, and I look forward to it. And I hope she's ready because I'll be ready. Hold on a sec. That's what I hate about being happy around the world. Ah, they're gonna end this soon though. Hold on a sec. What? My fiance is pointing. My fiance is clowning me. Ah. Hold on here. Hold on a sec. So there. Let's finish this up though. 'Cause I think I'm boring enough for you guys as it is. Let's try to finish this up.
Fucking pay the $100 for a meal, dude. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh my shut up. The only meal that female is worthy of is a happy meal, and that's being generous. Please. Like I said, she's a good looking woman, but she's not all that. You know what I say, folks? She be the type of woman coming all dressed up, dressed up pretty. She be the type saying, "Well, I spent about a few $100s on makeup and my hair and nails. I spent like about like $200 or $300 to be ready for you. So I figured dinner you owe me is about $300 or $400." And good luck getting a second date from her. She probably like eat the meal, thank you for the meal, thank you for the gifts. Don't call me, I'll call you. Next thing you know, boom, ghosted. That's a joke. That be her. I don't think I know it. And I won't be surprised women like her do that. Take a brag about it. Yeah. There's this tech dude. Yeah, he's simping for me. No. I encourage every man with the sound of my voice, don't fall for it. If a woman demands for you to go take her to a 5-star restaurant for a medium for the first time, don't do it. You better get to know her for a long time. You know, the funny part, you got women who have this insanely ridiculous body count from 20, 30, 40, 50, and beyond, and give it up the first night like this, but because you had to be the potential of being like the guy who could be the most stable and economically reliable dude, she's gonna make you wait up to a year. Do I say about that? Okay. How about I spend a dime for you over the year? We're gonna communicate like crazy, yeah, but until I get to know you, I'm not gonna invest any money in you. How you like that? How many women would go for that? I can guarantee you they're gonna say, nope. But let's go on.
Men don't understand the emotional labor that goes
Again with the emotional labor. Really? What would emotional labor the men has being worried about how she's going? My fiance being funny with me again. What about the emotional labor that men got to deal with? He's worried concerned like either A, do you like him or you got to clown him? He can have worries concerned. What about the emotional labor that men have? All the guy, you think we have no emotions. We think we're just living, breathing ATM machines. Shame on me for thinking that otherwise. Shame on me. Please.
into literally having a conversation with them.
Oh, You make it sound like you're Socrates talking to cavemen. Have you thought that maybe like the conversation these men would have with you would be like above you, would go over so far above your head? Oh, like I said, women like that crack me up. Let's finish this up.
They're like, I just want to be loved for who I am, not for my money. It's like, you don't have a personality.
And what make you think your personality's a winner? Like I said, no respect, no love, no peace. But your personality is such a winner. Don't take my word for it, folks. You see it for yourself. Please don't take my word for it. You can see it for yourself.
So you either have to bring a personality, you need to bring some emotional depth, you need to bring like something to the
Can I tell you something, ma'am? Stop projecting. I repeat, stop projecting.
table, or just pay the bill. If
How about you pay the bill? You pay the bill.
you don't want to do the work on yourself, what's $100? You know, I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
And you probably never will. Because you're so narcissistic, stuck up, delusional. I mean, you're so delusional, you make Dr. Phil quit.
Seems like they just don't seem to understand that patriarchy is the trap.
And feminism, not feminism, more like the feminazis are trying for supremacy. You see, it's no longer about equality. I said it before, I say it again. Women who works in the office doing the same exact job that men are doing, they deserve equal pay. I'd be the first one to say it. But it comes like saying the bricklayer, and that's a very, very demanding job. And not all men can do that. Very few men can do that job. You're not going to tell me someone say, well, I'll do the same type of job that man does at bricklaying and do it just as long. No, you can't. You could try. You can try for X amount of years, but your body would pay a terrible price, and your body would pay a terrible price way early on than most men. I know a man who works, has a back-breaking jobs, did it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, only for the bodies to be broken down later on. You're going to tell me you can fare better than them? Mm-mm. You could be, I know women who work on farms, and don't get me wrong, women who work on farms are stronger than women from the city. I tell you right now, many years ago, I went to a church. You see this gospel group sing, and there's one lady met for the first time, shook her hand. Her grip is about as strong as a man's. I mean, she's a lady, but her grip is as strong as a man because she worked on a farm. If you take another woman who is the same age as her from the city, throw these two in a pit and they fight fist to fist, that farm lady's got mopped the floor with that city girl. Guaranteed. These city women are tough. And I'm not saying these farm girls are not tough. They're very strong. But even I'm not sure they will last a long time being a bricklayer. Like I said, very few men can last a long time being a bricklayer. That's a hard back-breaking job. My point being, though, in terms of like women, they say that feminism is more like equal pay for equal work. And I agree. That's cool. But for you got some women who will go beyond equality. They will go for supremacy. This woman screams fem Nazi. Let's go on.
And in this trap, you have to perform masculinity in order.
There are men who will do their own thing and be considered masculine. Some guys talk loudly and considered masculine, but some men speak quietly, still masculine. Some of the men who are the most silent of men are the most masculine. They don't talk it. They do it. They're not going to scream out loud, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Real masculine men don't scream at the top of their lungs and make it to a public spectacle. Real men don't talk it. They just do it. Plain and simple. That's your masculinity right there.
order to be valuable. And they could easily remove themselves from the situation altogether and just be decent human beings.
Okay, that part I agree. Being a decent human being, that's one of the only things I agree with her. Being a decent human being, I wish she understood that part. Maybe she's a decent human being, or at least act the part. People would be so turned off by it. But her attitude, that screams she's a decent human being. I just wish she just practiced what she preaches when it comes to being a decent human being.
By not subscribing to the patriarchy.
Leave the patriarchy alone, please. If things go your way, civilization will burn to the ground a long time ago. But let's go on.
However, they want to stay within those confines because they do gain some privilege by being in proximity to it.
And guess what? From what I'm hearing, though, sounds like some of you women want some of that too. Otherwise, you would not stop talking about patriarchy. You want that power. You want that privilege while being a woman.
Being men. And so basically they're coming up to this paradox where they're not masculine. So
as far as you're concerned, yeah, they're not masculine, but that's only from your perspective. But we're not going to take it seriously. They'd be crazy to take you seriously. They shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
So they think that makes them more of a prize, but it actually just kind of makes them a loser.
The only way these men will be a loser if they go for women like you, and they allow women like you playing like a violin, and you throw them in that supermax friend zone prison and play them over and over and over again. You're right, they are losers. But good men who stands on business, who's also emotionally mature, they're not gonna put up with it. The moment they see you be a threat to their emotional peace, they show you the door. Or at the very least, they have no problem leaving you behind and ghosting you. They take their peace and peace of mind over somebody who thinks they are all that in looks, but deep inside is downright hideous.
There is no bigger victim than a man in the tech world, let me tell you.
Only if it involves a female like her, yeah, he'd be a victim if he did with a female like her.
That. Anyway, it's just funny to me because it's like, okay, well, congratulations. Now no one fucking likes you.
If this is a type of rage bait, congratulations. It's rage bait. They're not gonna take it seriously. If you try to tickle somebody, it's rage bait. Okay, I'm done. Really, I'm done. But this is why more and more men are leaving the dating scene, because these females make it a joke. The sad thing is, not every female is like that. But unfortunately, you got women like her, and women say like, yeah, fist pumped up, like, yeah, down with the patriarchy. Yeah, you talk that trash now, but when you hit to your 50s and 60s, think you can pull these young men? No. These young men use it as a plaything, but turns to long term, they'll hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. If you're a good, God-fearing, traditional woman, you got a good man, you better hold on tight to that man. You better hold on tight, because men like that won't come often, and vice versa. And all the good God-fearing men, you have a good traditional woman, you better hold on tight to her, because you never know when another one come by again. Whew, other than that, folks, fix yourself. I'm done. I'm about to get some sleep soon because I'm tired, being angry. I mean, that thing got me going all night. But I want to thank you folks for being there, showing up. And one more shout out to my fiance, Christine. I love very much. Please know that I love you. I look forward to see you again. I can't wait to see your family again as well. Okay, gumatika, my love. So other than that, folks, I gotta get this call this give this an end. I'll probably talk to you guys again live one more time, close to between 8 and 9. It's gonna be a short stream. Talk a little bit about Memorial Day and all that. But until then, folks.